Hello everyone, Niner here again. Out for a bit of a stroll, play a little bit of frisbee with my two favorite canines. Thought maybe I'd put some words down. We might actually call this episode 1. So the first thing I need you to know is you finish your Canadian firearm safety course, you've done all the stuff, you got your license, you bought a gun, and I know that as a former instructor, we kind of beat those two acronyms into you, ACTS and PROVE. Now just remember, ACTS, the acronym ACTS stands for assume the firearm is loaded, control the muzzle direction, keep it pointed in a safe direction, keep your finger off the trigger and out of the trigger guard, and then see that it's unloaded using the steps of PROVE. I want you to understand, that's kind of like philosophy. That's a thought process that goes on every time you handle a firearm for the first time. It goes on up here in the hamburger fed computer. And then PROVE is the physical steps of rendering a firearm safe when you first pick it up. That's what it is, a physical process. And it stands for point the firearm in the safest available direction, remove all the cartridges, verify the feeding path, and examine the bore. That's a viable process. I want you to remember that, and you are going to use it. I use it primarily when I handle a firearm for the first time. I want to do the steps of PROVE right through to the very end, including examine the bore before I ever put a live cartridge in any firearm. Inherently, most of the accidents with firearms statistically are because of bore obstruction, and it's a simple process that you check it before you put the live firearm and you can mitigate most of those. Plus, anytime you have a doubt about the condition of the bore, do the steps again. Now, progressing from there, when you walk the path with me and you have, the skills that we have, you have to learn the 4 universal firearm safety rules, and they become a little more paramount in your everyday. And it goes like this. Rule number 1, treat every firearm as if it's loaded at all times. Period. End of discussion. Rule number 2, never point the firearm at anything you do not wish to kill or destroy, including your own body parts. Rule number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are on target that you've positively identified and you've made a conscious decision to shoot it. And then the last rule, number 4, know your target, what's beyond it, behind it, around it, over it, and everything that's going on around you. The firing of a firearm makes a lot of noise and has some potential serious outcomes, and you cannot have tunnel vision when you do that. I want you to understand that when you launch a bullet out of a firearm, you are responsible for that bullet until it comes to rest and no longer poses a threat to human life. You. Okay? Firearm safety falls primarily in the hands of the person handling the gun. Embrace it, live that lifestyle, and from here on in, it gets way easier. I'll get back to you very soon. This was just a little bit of a warm-up. Remember those 4 firearm safety rules. Write them down, memorize them, and live them.